Great stuff. Amazing. Hello everyone, welcome back.
Hey everyone. Jess, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can all hear you.
Oh, brilliant! Everyone, great. Look, that's live TV for you, right? That's how you keep it all alive, right?
One day I'll get used to it.
Exactly. It's a new world, people. It's a new world. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm just going to give you a little bit of time right now to come and join us and refresh your screens. But if you're here already and hearing us, we have got our filmmakers' details on the screens for you. And what we need you to do right now is to take note of all of these filmmakers. They are exceptionally talented. And what they need from you for sharing their great talent with you tonight is for you to follow them and to support their work. It is essential that you guys keep following, keep active, and, you know, give the filmmakers feedback. That's what we want. We made this film for you to see.
Yeah, I mean, I've been getting some really lovely feedback on Facebook. It's been really exciting hearing all your comments. I just want to apologise as well for the lack of sound on one of the videos. I had a slight technical hitch because there's always going to be technical hitches, isn't there? Sorry, I think Facebook keeps adding random videos at the end of our watch party, which is very frustrating, but hopefully that didn't impede your enjoyment too much. Like Tolly said, take a minute to take a look at these slides and take everyone's details down, and then we will get cracking with the Q&A. We have got a lot of the filmmakers here today, so it's very exciting.
Yeah, we've got a full house tonight. But really packed full of talent, so it's very exciting.
Loving it.
Right, we're going to give you a couple more minutes to make sure that you've refreshed your screen and you're joining us. We don't want you to miss out. Yeah, so we'll give you one more minute. Please, again, I implore you, if you've just joined us, to take down the names of all the filmmakers here. It's really important that you please show support. And the way you show support is by following these people and encouraging them to make more great narratives.
And keep the questions coming in as well. I've got Facebook open on my other screen, so let me know if there's anything that you want us to ask.
This is the beauty of this, is because you don't get this on Netflix. I said this yesterday. You know, you watch it on Netflix, you don't get to actually have direct contact to the makers of this great content. So this is the privilege and the treat of coming to this festival, is you get connected directly to these filmmakers. And I will say again, please do not forget to fill out our feedback form. Not only is it your chance to win prizes from our sponsors, Mixing Networks and We Audition, thank you very much to them, big up. But it's also your opportunity to award your favorite filmmaker. Whatever film tonight was
I don't know how they choose, to be honest with you. They've all been so good.
They have. And I mean, whatever won tonight, and I know exactly there is going to be loads. It's going to be hard. I'm not going to lie. But this is your chance to say to this filmmaker, I want to see more. Keep going, because your work is valued. Right. I think we're over now.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Ross, I'm going to give you the heads up. I'm going to start with you. Yeah. Can you find the unmute button? It's a classic, isn't it? You start a Zoom meeting, somebody's always on mute.
Was that Nosa or was that Ross?
No. You in?
Ross.
Oh, okay, it's not me. Okay.
We might go with you, Nossa.
Yeah, we might have to go with you, Nossa.
Okay, let's go with you, Nossa. Y'all ready? Look at my man. He's like, yeah. You want me? I'm here. Nossa, congratulations. I'm so proud of that film. I'm so proud. It means so much to me personally. Look, there is so much to ask you, to be fair, because this is pre-Black Panther.
Yeah.
This was innovative, okay? I think, to me, well, definitely for me, it was the first Black superhero film I got to watch, and I was privileged to watch it. I want to know, thank you. What was the response globally to such a new concept? And do you think it actually kind of paved the way for Black Panther? What do you think?
Okay, so I'm gonna try and tread the line carefully and not sort of toot my own horn too much, you know.
Do it.
But no, like, to be honest, I'm pretty happy because initially when I first came out with the idea, I stood up in a film festival, and I said to everybody, "Hey, I want to make a Nigerian superhero movie," and I was really amped up about it and excited. And when I said that, every single person in the audience of this film festival burst, not every single person, a lot of people burst into tears of laughter. And I was like, you guys are like nuts. You never ever, like, there is a whole mythology, which you know nothing about, which is followed by 100 million people around the world. And my thing was to bring this to the mainstream population, to sort of show people, okay, this is what, you know, people don't really know. It's like, you know, similar to, you know, you've heard of the Egyptian pantheon, you've heard of the Greek pantheon of gods. This is another pantheon. So essentially that was my intention. And in terms of the response, we got, you know, it went viral. We had millions of like hits around the world, and we had people in the US and Brazil especially who really were that really took to it. And you know, to be honest, I think, you know, it was so obviously a no-brainer in terms of an African superhero that whether I had done that or not, I think it would have got done, because, you know, like Hollywood, it's dollar signs, you know, it's you're printing money, so it makes complete sense. And yeah, for me, my whole thing has just been to build this as a series. So I've done a few more episodes of the series. I'm making my next one, which I'm going to shoot officially in Nigeria this year. So yeah, it's been an interesting journey, but I'm happy to be part of sort of this movement of Afrofuturism, African superheroes. It's new, it's cool, and it's exploring a whole new again, a whole new mythology which people have not heard about, but which they need to hear about. So
absolutely, it's a re-education of a nation. And I'm Nigerian, and to be fair, my daughter was in it. I'm just gonna say it. I'm proud. Yes. I'm a proud mother.
Rebecca, she was.
Yeah. But I'm saying it's a re-education for ourselves, okay? Yeah. And I'm so proud of the creativity and having that to share with not just Nigerians, but for everyone. I can share my culture, and having something so powerful to share with them. I'm just so proud of you. Well done. Well done. Well done.
Great work. So much good feedback as well. I don't know if you've seen on Facebook, you got a lot of compliments. Everyone really loved it.
Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, no, thank you as well for you guys for having me on board, having me on. And yeah, like it's really exciting. I think it's really interesting that you guys are taking advantage of this this new virtual medium to make sure that, you know, people can just see all these great films. So yeah, happy to be a part of it.
Oh,
it's a privilege.
Awesome.
Bless you. Thank you so much, Nossa. Jess, who we got next?
Well, I think we're going to try Ross again. You managed to crack Zoom? You still confused.
Ross is going, what is this? After Nossa was like, yeah, this new medium. Ross is like, bloody hell. What is this?
All right. I'm going to skip to Alan Paul with Mind Over Matter then.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. I bloody love that film. It's so good. It's so stylized. did that come initially from, so Al, you wrote it, right? And Paul,
Correct. Yeah, exactly that. So I wrote and produced it. Obviously, Paul came aboard to do a stellar job to direct it. So yeah, real kind of collaborative approach between the two of us, really, to kind of just execute that vision, the vision that I saw first of all in the script, and obviously then kind of like Paul's portrayal of it creatively. So yeah, a real kind of joint effort between the both of us to bring that alive.
Incredible. Yeah, it's really powerful. And again, so much good feedback on Facebook as well. And how did you guys meet? How did you start working together?
Al was, he used to rent out camera equipment. He used to work for a camera equipment company. So we used to hire equipment off him. And he always understood the need to sometimes come in for probably less than he should get. And so I was like, let me stick with this one.
Paul was a pushy client, basically. That's kind of where it started. Yeah, when it goes many years back, as Paul said, I used to work in camera facilities, and yeah, it just kind of started as an account management kind of relationship that grew into friendship, that grew into creative chats and the sharing of ideas. And I think for me personally, on a producing level, I think it's just important at that ground level to have just a good rapport, a good relationship with your director to begin with. And you're not going to start that relationship on day one on set. Do you know, like that has to, for me personally, you've got to know you're going to go through thick and thin with this person. And so having that kind of legacy of a relationship between the two of us that stems from many years back, but leading up to this point to both produce a film like this together, it was a long time in the making, a long time in discussion, but that just helps you kind of grow together. Do you know, you don't want to find out that you really can't stomach this person in production, because you know, so yeah, for us it was obviously important to go through that kind of journey together to lead up to the production of the film.
I think for me, when Al showed me the script 3 years ago, it's hard to, you know, have a twist in film these days which you don't see coming. And when I read it, I was like, I definitely did not see that coming. And actually, a lot of people say the same thing. And obviously, we've watched the film and we've been part of the film for so long. We're like, oh, right, you didn't see it coming. But really, people don't, which is cool.
Definitely. It's really shocking. You're kind of, and I think because it's such like a beautifully like stylized film and you're kind of like, oh, where is this going? And then, yeah, like, bam, hits you out of nowhere. So, yeah, no, very well done. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I think, you know, for me, like modern art is, you know, at a point, I mean, obviously, like this is kind of my homage to art. I know it's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek dig at the scene, but it's not at all meant to be a complete slander, because I am a massive modern art, contemporary art fan, and that's kind of, it's born from the love of there. But if you find like a lot of artists within that kind of circle, it's always about pushing the boundaries, right? And it's always about what's acceptable now and who's going to push it forward and do more and more daring and risque things, and ultimately would that lead in a future to someone pushing it beyond the norm. Yeah,
it was great, very powerful. Brilliant. So Tolu, shall we move on to the next?
Cool, thanks guys.
No, thank you. We'll come back round.
We're going to come back round. It's not over. It's not over yet. Thank you so much. Right. Yes, Rob. Rob's in the house. Can you hear me? I've got a bad internet. Hello, Rob. Hello. Well done and congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations on many levels, because you played so many parts in making that film happen. How was that? Putting on so many hats, writer, producer.
Traumatizing. It was awful. No, it was wonderful. Like there were lots of things. You know, it was lovely to have so much creative control. But I think it's a lot of work. I think my priority when making the film for me was to be able to pay my actors. We were on a low budget. We wanted to make something we could. So my priority, I really want to pay my actors because this is all self-funded. So that meant me taking on more and more jobs where I had things that I could do. So it meant that it was a lot of work on my side of things, which, you know, when you're directing a scene and acting in it can be really problematic. But I was so lucky to have, I mean, a lot of you know Michael, who owns Mixing Networks. He came on as a second AD to really sort of like help manage those sections a little bit for me. So I was really lucky to have somebody to help steer the ship in some of those some of those situations on some of those days because he wasn't available for every day of the shoot. But it was good fun, a great learning process.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know about the really interesting subject matter that you've explored. It's a largely unexplored narrative, actually, is that kind of conflict between trying to stay with the status quo. How did that come about? What was the inspiration behind that?
I think that's a good question. I wanted to, like you say, I wanted to sort of like combat and target social conditioning, what we see in the world, what we see as correct, what we see. I think everybody can relate to the idea when you're at school and you have a teacher and you're studying for exams and they say, and you want to know you see the answer to something and they say that's the answer and you say, well, I don't understand, why is that the answer? And they say, you don't need to know why, you just need to know that that's the answer. And I think everybody can relate to that to a little bit. That was part of the inspiration, but I won't name names, but part of this story is based on a true story that I knew from someone. I won't name names or anything, but a gentleman was sleeping with another man behind his wife's back, and they had sex, and every single time that they had sex afterwards, the guy who was married would turn around and just say, I'm not gay, by the way. Which was kind of like that kind of like blew my mind a little bit. I was like, well, how does somebody get into that situation where they believe that, well, not necessarily whether they believe that's the case, or what has led them to this situation where they have to lead this completely separate life where they get to do something
absolutely
them, but they feel that things are literally set in stone. You're this, you're that, you're one thing, you're another thing, and have to justify that after completing an act which would, some people could determine lead you towards a certain orientation. I mean, in our world, we know it doesn't, but it's I just found it incredibly interesting. So, how do we write that story? How do we give that story to somebody? And sort of really start tackling the issue of social conditioning in the world, which is what we see. We're told one thing, we're told to believe one thing, and more thinking about the box and how damaging it can be to you if you choose not to try and see outside the lines. Doesn't mean that everything outside the lines is completely correct, but it's really good to have a viewpoint to think, well, why don't I question this? Why don't I actually see what I think of this, not what somebody else is telling me? And that's really the inspiration, I suppose.
Love it.
Bloody good job and all. Well done. Really proud. Thank you so much for joining us. It was amazing. You did such a great job. Really interesting film. Beautifully shot.
Yeah,
love that. Thank you, Rob.
Wonderful.
Should we try Ross again?
Thank you.
Can you unmute? Third time lucky.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, winning. Yeah. Ross, you're not in Barcelona, you're in San Sebastian at the moment?
No, I'm in Barcelona. I'm in Barcelona. Yeah.
We've got a very international film fete this weekend. Everyone's dialing in from everywhere.
Sorry about that. I was trying to message someone the link to the event, and every time I moved off the full screen of seeing all you guys, I couldn't find it again, and I was like, oh God, no, and so I'm here now.
Good. No, we always have these lovely live issues.
Of course,
part of the fun.
Yeah.
So you're shot in Barcelona where you are currently. How did you find your cast, and was it easy?
So yeah, we shot Influencers Anonymous last summer, actually, in August, in the heat of the weather here, which is obviously around the corner again. So it was a very sweaty afternoon, day. But yeah, the cast, they're mainly people I've worked with a few of them before, but the main actress who played the character of Hayley, the influencer, who's really in the throes of her addiction and has her big moment. She's actually a stand-up comedian, and she plays in a lot of the clubs here in Barcelona, and me and the writer James had seen her a couple of times, and then we found out that we knew her we were friends with her flatmates, and so we thought she was quite an interesting character. And when we were writing the film, we basically wrote that part for her. But she had never been in a film before. I mean, I think she'd acted probably in theatre or in, like at school kind of thing. Obviously, she was very used to performing, but I think she was quite nervous in front of the camera. And so we organised the day so that she would be at the end of the day. and because it's a lot of like intense close-ups,
Yeah.
we thought, well, if she's last, then you know, we'll
Warmed
be
up,
ready for it.
relaxed into it. Yeah.
Because it's all one big scene, we ran the whole thing in one go repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's quite a funny film, intentionally, of course, but when you're shooting it, you know, it feels like a real AA meeting. So, I mean, in the opening shot, you can't quite, if you look closely, I'm actually on the edge of the frame because
I did notice, I spotted you.
Yeah, everyone who was there had to fill out the circle to make it look as healthy as possible. So I kind of sat down and we did a full run through of it. And I was sitting there just like, oh my God, this is so heavy. You know, I mean, like I say, it has its moments, but
That's so funny.
it was quite an ordeal to kind of get through it.
I feel like that's the beauty of comedy, though. You kind of get something that's so close to reality that's why it's funny. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of pathos as well as the humor in it, and yeah, each character has their own little kind of nuance, a little problem, and we kind of talked to the actors, and we didn't articulate this in the film. But obviously, she's meant to be a kind of health and fitness. Whereas the guy at the beginnings maybe might to be more like a Bear Grylls type character, and we gave each person something just so that they had a bit more going on. Yeah. So I think that helped. No, it's great. It's a real kind of reflection on the state of today. Yes. Yeah. I mean, luckily I haven't been afflicted by such such an addiction. Yeah, maybe after this, I'll become an influencer.
Zoom.
Who knows?
Once you figure out how to unmute yourself.
Exactly, yeah, that's not doing me any favors right now, but
we all do it every time. Amazing. Well, we'll come back to you. Tolu, should we go with Emma?
Yes. I'm hoping that you can see and hear me because my connection keeps.
Yes,
cool. It's all good.
All good.
Brilliant. Hey, Emma. Hello. I'm so proud of you, girl. I'm so glad that you're here. Well done. Right. I listen, because this is the thing. This is why my question is so important, because you're predominantly an actress, right? So what motivated you to create your own film? And do you think it's important for actors to create their own material?
Yeah, it was kind of a lot of things for me. I think it was very much my own personal journey that I've been on with acting, and you get to a point sometimes where you're just like, I can't just have my future in someone else's hands or just be reliant continuously on like external forces. Like there are things within the acting industry that you can actually take charge of yourself, and someone had said to me ages ago, like, actors, we're storytellers. That's what we are. We're storytellers at heart. And it had always stuck with me. And I was like, yeah, why can't I tell my own stories? Why have I got to wait for someone else to write a story that I can then act in if they give me the part? Like, why should I sit around and just wait for that? I have stories inside of me that I just need to find and put my voice to. And yeah, it had kind of been like a very slow journey for me to kind of get to that point and to make that sort of realization. And then, yeah, I just sort of had this like idea for this film, which is what you saw, that was sort of a mixture of inspiration, I suppose, taking stuff from my own experiences. Not that I've ever broken into someone's house to collect my underwear, to clarify, but also like hearing friends talk about their mishaps at university and sort of fun things like that, and this idea just sort of dropped into my head, and I just thought it would be a great little fun thing to do, and it kind of came about as something that I wanted to do for myself, that I just wanted to prove to myself. And yeah, and it ended up working out quite nicely, and I was really pleased with the result.
You should be very pleased. It was all you could ask for. Honestly, I loved it. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to come back to you.
Sorry, if you did actually ever have to retrieve your own knickers, so I'm glad that you clarified.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm not a bunny boy in that, I promise.
You were worried.
Amazing. Amazing. We've got Leanne.
Yes.
He's frozen on my screen. Leanne, are you there? There you are.
Yeah, hi.
All good. How are you doing, Leanne?
Really good, really good. Just also thank you for having all of us on, and also big up all the friends and family and crew and everyone who's on the chat as well, coming to support and watch.
Yeah, it's been so nice having everyone come and support everyone's films. It's been great.
Yeah.
Leanne, that's a beautiful film you made. What was the inspiration behind the story? Is it a true story, or is it something?
So it's a kind of semi-biographical story, and it's kind of loosely inspired by my just wanting to kind of like make a film kind of for my mum. So my upbringing is half Chinese, but I'm British Chinese, and I felt also through me kind of developing as a filmmaker, I wanted to make a film that felt quite personal, especially in terms of just the subject matter and the context, and also the fact that I hadn't really seen a lot of British Chinese films having been made. Really, the last one I think was made, I think was back in 1993, and it was a feature film by the director who I think did like the fourth Harry Potter. But like since then, there hasn't been any films about British Chinese culture at all. And I particularly also, it was a film that was looking at a character and a personality that's so important to me, which is kind of like Chinese mum in modern kind of culture, and particularly where one is like a second generation British kind of citizen, what that feels like both with the traditions of the generation above and also having kids who have kind of born and bred in the UK. And feel more British than they feel Chinese. And it was just a really interesting platform for me and the rest of the team and the cast to explore that. And it was looking at trying to make a story that both felt very personal, but also quite cinematic in its kind of scale, where it was both very intimate, but its themes were quite big. And it was a really enjoyable experience. It was a really hard experience because of how close it was to my own life, but also trying to create some sort of creative distance with that. But I just have to put so much like credit to the rest of the team, like Adam Sengodia and Ann Kutzer, the production designer and cinematographer, and finding both a cinematic language and color palette that kind of both took homage and inspiration from a lot of filmmakers that we liked, and within certain kind of aesthetic of sort of Chinese family dramas, but then also giving it a bit of a modern twist by looking at certain filmmakers that we liked. And it was a really enjoyable experience also through the composer Harry Brockenshaw and Ross, who was our sound designer, who did a really beautiful job in that film. And it was just a really enjoyable experience to kind of put that together. And it was my first film at I studied and I've recently graduated from the National Film and Television School. And it was the first film that I made there. So it was an enormous challenge to make it within certain limitations, but it was such a joy to kind of have that opportunity to work with really like amazingly talented fellow filmmakers just starting out. So yeah, that's the long story short.
No, it's brilliant. And kind of that's exactly what I got from it, that you had kind of taken inspiration from other filmmakers. It had, very filmic style. It was, yeah, like I said, really beautifully shot. Well, we're going to run around everyone again and ask everyone what they've been up to recently and what's next for them, and also where everyone can catch them on their social handles. So we'll go around again, start with Nasser.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Give us a quick,
okay, so I recently did a film. It's a sci-fi called Binge Watching, which came out. It was funded by the BBC and the BFI, and very controversial in terms of its subject matter, and came out at a really interesting time. But yeah, if you just go YouTube Binge Watching, kind of get the point. and I'm expanding that. So I'm currently sort of working on a feature version of that. And as I mentioned, I'm also going to Nigeria to shoot the follow-up to the Rise of the Orisha series. Hopefully, I'm planning to shoot one in Nigeria, one in Brazil, and come back and shoot another one in the UK over the next 6-7 months. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm just constantly just trying to, I think my thing is I'm just trying to make, I enjoy making sort of interesting sci-fi fantasy things which communicate real life issues and allow us to explore these things, these political, universal themes, but in a fun, interesting, crazy, wacky way. So,
and where's the best place for everyone to come and see your stuff?
You can go to my website, which is NOSA, filmmaker.com. And yeah, all of my information is on there, and then also obviously the social media handles that you have for me.
Yes.
And we'll put the slide back up at the end as well, so that everyone, if anyone missed it, and we'll post it in the group as well.
Okay.
And Nossa, I just respect as a filmmaker. Honestly, I can't wait for all the content that you're going to bring. It's the time to share that. And I'm just so glad that you're here in the industry. And also, I am available anytime you want me to.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to miss my chance.
You know,
I was like,
no. you know I'm going to holler at you. So it's all good.
You heard it here, people. You heard it here. Thank you, Nossa. Thank you.
All right.
Al, what have you been up to? What's up next? Where can people see your stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So myself and Paul have, in fact, Paul, please lead the way, sir. We've been developing something, haven't we? Go on.
Yeah, so we didn't get too sick of working with each other, so we thought let's do something which is much harder, which is a feature documentary called The Last Music Photographer. And it's an amazing story about this photographer from, I guess his main period was the 90s, early 2000s, 20-year career. He shot everyone, bar Michael Jackson and the Beatles. He shot everyone.
Wow.
And the thing is, if you see a lot of his work online, you'll recognize it, but you won't know who it is because he tried to fly under the radar, or he did fly under the radar. And so he just spent so much time shooting everyone, but no one knows who he is. And not only that, but he can't actually get work now. He finds it really hard to get work because the whole music industry has changed because it's, smartphones have made it sort of democratized everything. So the need for like paying, £20,000 a day for a photographer, that just sort of dissipated and he kind of fell away. So we're telling that story basically.
Yeah, so we're developing that, and just if that wasn't keeping us busy enough, we thought we might develop another little short film as well. So we've got a script. We're kind of this one's potentially more of an action, like heist movie. We like a heist movie, so we're maybe going to come with one of those as well, potentially at the end of the year. So yeah, I think it's just important, isn't it? I mean, what you guys are putting on like during this time, I think for all the other filmmakers, and I'm sure all the other guys will probably go along with me. I think that these sorts of times, especially for creative people or for people that we know where we're coming from, lockdown, it's been challenging for sure, but you have to use this as an opportunity. There's not a lot of time. You kind of just get locked in your house. We're all busy. We've all got our own work going on. So actually, if you kind of let this time, don't use this time in the right way, you'll probably be kicking yourself in the next couple of years. So don't look at it so much as you're locked in your house, but you're locked in your house and you can do some writing or some development. And so yeah, I think it's important just to try and keep proactive, and then hopefully you can line up your projects, and then we'll come back out the other side and start rolling with someone. We all can start getting back to set on that. Yeah.
Great. Exciting. And where can people...
just a small typo as well to say that if you want to find me, I don't normally do social media. You can find me on LinkedIn, but my second name is actually Eels rather than the L's you've got.
Oh, sorry.
Not a problem at all. That's absolutely fine.
Oh,
so, yeah, Al Eels, and I'm LinkedIn. I don't really do too many other. But Paul, your website as well.
Yeah, our website is www.fightgravityfilms.com or .co.uk, and you can follow us on Instagram.
We'll put them all on up.
Yeah, at Fight Gravity.
Amazing. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Rob, what's coming up next, my darling?
Hi. Yeah, what's coming up next?
Hey.
I've actually been working with a couple of friends who are into the business today on different things. We're actually looking at making a web series and sort of improve concept for that. I'm not going to give away too many details yet because we quite like our concept and we don't want to shove it out into the world just yet. So that's what we're working on at the moment, which is looking really good. We were going through writing and different sort of scenarios for how that's going to work and how we can use that within our budget and stuff like that. So I've been working on that. But also I've been reading up on sort of like different things to do with like male depression and different bits and bobs. I know that's quite a done topic, but I think there are other stories to be told in different areas that I'm interested in that. But yeah, I think I'm sort of researching for my next short story as well. So if anybody's got ideas, chuck them at me. Want to collaborate with a script, please do. We're working away with that because Ticking Boxes only finished recently, and that's literally just started on the circuit. So it's kind of been a bit of a rest and then getting back in the saddle now. Really, it's been good. Oh, my handles are at setfilms_ and at rdmetson. So awesome. Give me a follow. That'd be great. Thanks.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Ross, are we back in the game?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing this time. So yeah, in terms of new work, I've just shot a new short film 2 weeks ago here in Barcelona. It was meant to shoot in March and then the lockdown happened, so I had to put it on ice. And yeah, it's called Dog in Translation, and it's about a stubborn British man in Spain who doesn't speak the language and has a sort of paranoid conversation with his girlfriend and one of her work colleagues, and it goes down a kind of surreal comedy route. So quite excited about that. And in terms of social stuff, you can check out my website, which is my name, rossmcclure.co.uk. There's other short films and more commercial work because I do a lot of like branded content and like a lot of digital video, YouTube and the like. I've also got a music video on there which was shot with an international cast of dancers and has animation in it, which was made during the lockdown. So that's on there. It's the first video that you can see. And then on Instagram and Twitter, my names are just reversed, so it's McClure Ross rather than Ross McClure.
Keeping us on our toes.
Yeah, and so I post things about upcoming work and stuff on there all the time. So
amazing.
Thank you.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you. Emma, Emma, come back. You're not a traditional filmmaker, so what are you doing? Is filmmaking for you? Is that where you're going next, or are you sticking with the acting? What's up?
Definitely both.
Good. Yes, right answer. Go on, girl.
Yeah, I've got the filmmaking bug. I actually created a piece in lockdown. I shot the whole thing on my iPhone, and I secured the copyright to this really incredible song, which is the inspiration for the piece. So that went up on my Instagram and my Vimeo about 3 or 4 weeks ago now. So check that out. It's called She's My Witch. And I'm also developing an idea for a 2-hander short that'll probably be maybe a 9 or 10 minute running time that I've approached another actor friend about. So we're actually writing it together. That's to do with the relationship between sisters and navigating grief, and also the relationships that humans have with horses and how healing horses can actually be and how they're often used for therapy. So that's my sort of next project, which will probably take us through, I guess, till like spring of next year. But yeah, all my socials are just always Emma Kiraj. So Instagram is just at Emma Kiraj, and same with my Vimeo and my Twitter.
Awesome. Amazing. And last but not least, Leanne, what's up for you next?
So since Moai, I made like 2 short films that I've directed. One was, and they're all very different, but they're all kind of very British. One is The Wanderer, which is a modern silent black and white film, which I shot with Yinka, who's awesome. Love him. And then Yeah, it was so funny watching M7 and just seeing like the whole like cast of work with. And then so that was really enjoyable because it was trying to reinvent and move forward the language of modern silent films of Chaplin and Buster Keaton, but kind of putting it very contemporarily on the streets of London. And we shot that last year, and then worked with a lot of similar collaborators like Gareth Pugh, who's our editor on that, onto the next grad film that I did at NFTS, which was a film called Stratton Deep, which was around the 1980s miners, where a young miner gets trapped in a coal mine and has to try and escape and rescue his dad. And we shot that both in action mines with coal miners, as well as with an amazing cast like Tom Turgoose from This Is England and Barry Aird. And that was an amazing, huge kind of achievement and collective effort with James Boucher, our producer, and Chris, our sound designer, and a lot of people I'm kind of bigging up because they're also in the chat and they're watching, so I want to give them creds. And then since then, which we finished early last year, I've been in this lockdown period, been like gently developing my first feature film, which has been really enjoyable kind of process, and that's taking on and collaborating with a lot of the same team I work with whilst at film school. And then I've also been developing my first TV show as well with the one and only Rebecca King, who is she's a real talent. And so we're it's an exciting time. I'm in that very privileged position, I guess, as a director, where even though financially it's really tough, you kind of still in that place of development, and then hoping to try and maybe get some experience in working on some sets sooner when lockdown starts opening up. And then my handle, I'm notoriously terrible on social media, but my Instagram page is LeonRose88. So yeah.
Nice.
Thank you
Oh
so
my
much.
gosh, that was amazing.
That was. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your fantastic films and your time this evening. We've got a second lot of filmmakers coming.
Yeah. So we're going to have to let you go, but you are all great. You're all amazing. As Jess just said, thank you. Keep going, keep doing what you're doing. And we're all keeping contact. All of this is a network. We're building a network as well within ourselves. So we'll keep you all in contact with each other and we can keep supporting each other's work. So bye for now. We're going to eject you, unfortunately. Thank you.
Thanks.
Again.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. You can just, brilliant. Fantastic.
And then there were two.
Yay. We should take this moment while the other people are coming to say that our third line is not here, unfortunately, due to unforeseen. Yeah, exactly. Due to unforeseen circumstances, she hasn't been able to join us today, but she is here with us in spirit. So, and she's loving all of the filmmakers. Yay, we've got you here.
Exciting.
Let's just wait.
There she is.
Oh.
Amazing.
Oh, yay. We're here. Thank you so much for joining us. Well done. Another round of applause for these filmmakers, please. All of your films were the shortest films, but they all packed a big punch.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks
So
for
we're going
having
to
us.
start with.
Sorry.
Thank
you for having us.
Tolu has a little bit of a delay, so don't worry.
Thanks, Jess.
You're very welcome.
She's got my back, my girl. She's got my back. Obi, I'm going to start with you, Obi. You can unmute yourself, sweetheart. Can you unmute yourself, Obi?
I think you can actually unmute them as well as the host.
I can't. I can only ask them to unmute. Yeah, don't worry. Do you want to go with?
Oh, hello.
Yeah, there you are.
Yep.
Hi, Obi. Yay! I get to see you because me and Obi met on a rain dance filmmaking thing, and I'm so glad to have you here and have another female filmmaker here. So congratulations to you. And thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh my goodness, what have I done with my screen? So, okay, you're still up and coming in the industry right now. And what is what is where do you want to be? What is your inspiration? What kind of films do you want to create? What is your narrative, would you say?
I definitely want to create historical true stories. That's kind of my main thing, but also I would definitely love to push into like sci-fi fantasy, because I love those kind of narratives as well. But yeah, those are my kind of genres.
Love it. And have you got any inspirations for yourself as a filmmaker?
I yes, as in inspiration from other filmmakers.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'd say Ava DuVernay is my all-time fave. Yeah, exactly. I definitely love her style of directing. You know, her strong voice in those stories and things like that. Yeah, I'll definitely. Yeah, she's my thing. Yeah.
Good choice. Good choice. Good choice. Well, I just want to say congratulations on doing, just creating something. It's not easy. We know how much hard work has gone into it. And I'm so glad to have another female voice in the industry and, you know, going for it. So keep on going. We're going to keep on watching you. Where can we keep following you?
So you can like follow me on OB Direct. So it's my initial, both my first name, my surname. Yeah. So I'm on Instagram mostly, so you can like literally DM me on that. Perfect.
We'll be following you. We will be. Over to you, Jess.
Amazing. Caroline, thank you so much for joining us again. So obviously we had Stalling It in our last indie film fete, which was brilliant and went down a storm. And then you snuck this one in, which another joyous film. You turned this around really quickly, right?
Yeah, so we shot in, so we actually shot last year, but it was when basically because we had loads of other projects, it never got sort of wrapped up. But then when we shot, we had 4 hours on the day. Yeah, because the location were amazing. They did a huge favor for us, and but we were on a limited timescale, so we were just like in out, then like had to film it. But yeah, it was like a super quick turnaround, really tiny, like 4-person crew. Everyone kind of wearing all the hats, and yeah, it was all friends, so it was like, yeah, it was really great. It was really fun.
Done so well. I think it's really incredible to show what you can do quite simply and quickly.
Yeah.
Was that a kind of like prerequisite for making the film? Were you like, right, okay, we've only got 4 hours, it has to be a simple story, this is the kind of film we've got to make?
Yeah, well actually, because we came up with a concept because the guy who's in it, who plays Lord Cartwright, is a good friend of mine, Luke, and we were having a chat, and I was saying like, what would your like dream part be if you could do any kind of film? And he was like, oh, I'd love to play like a gay aristocrat. And I was like, oh, okay, let's write something. So we wrote this thing, and we knew we'd had like a really limited no budget, and we had the limited sort of time and stuff. And then yeah, it was all like the pre-production, so that when we went in, we just had like everything ready to go. So it was full team effort. Everyone was great. So it was so much fun. And yeah, really fast.
Yeah. I just want to congratulate you on your performance as well, because it was just so good.
Thank you.
Yeah, just perfect.
Thank you. Kind.
We all just spoke about it. We were just like, oh my god, she's so amazing, isn't she?
That's so sweet. Thank you.
Just really, it's never overdone with you. It's just so natural, and I can just, you're so big with your smallness. It's a masterclass. I love it, honestly.
Oh my god, I'm going red.
No, it's great.
Oh, thank you.
Pleasure. Do you want to quickly tell us what's next for you and where everyone can follow you?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram, which is Caroline__Ward. And then what's next? So I shot a film over during lockdown, in quarantine. Lockdown, you know, the thing we've all been doing. And so we shot that, and it's I wasn't in the I was an actor in that one. I wasn't one of the filmmakers, but we yeah, that is now being streamed. I think it's premiering on the 30th of July on a streaming service called Shudder, which is like the horror version of Netflix. So we're like really excited, and we're going to have like a lockdown screening from our houses and watch it all together in Zoom and stuff. So that's going to be really fun. But yeah, so that's next, and then just more projects in the pipeline, and some more projects with so It Girls Productions, which is the film that we made Stalling It under with myself and Gemma, who you know. So we're going to be developing more with It Girls as well. So
brilliant.
Keep busy.
Absolutely. We should say you were our last winners of our Indie Film Fate. So another round of applause to you. You've obviously got a bright future, and amazing.
Oh, you're so lovely.
Julian London. Thank you, Caroline. Oh, I've got a delay. I forgot. Julian.
Hey.
Hey, Julian. Hi, nice to have you with us.
Yeah,
well done for making such an epic concept trailer.
Thanks.
What did you make it in quarantine, or did you know that this was going to happen?
You know what? It's a bit of a tough one because I know we weren't meant to go outside, right? So
yeah.
But I thought I can be a bit bad and do it at night time when there wasn't much people about. But it just so happened there were a lot more people about at night than there was in the day.
Wow.
It's just me and one other person, just with one camera, and I had the idea because I'm coming from an acting background, not a filmmaker, so I didn't like the idea that I'm going to be trapped in the house doing nothing, because if I can't go to any auditions, and I've got nothing basically. Yeah. So I thought, let me just try and write something and put it together. Also, for the fact that a lot of times when I do go for auditions, because of diversity issues, I'm not getting the roles that I want to be in. I typically brand myself more on the kind of action and fantasy things, so I don't really get that. So that's why I've started writing and trying to put that forward.
Brilliant. I'm proud of you. You did an epic job. Was this your first?
That is my first, yeah.
Round of applause. And in quarantine. Yeah, exactly. So what's the plans for that story? Do you think that you would like to go on to develop that story?
Yeah, I've been asked that quite a bit. Yeah, I would like to move forward with that and possibly turn that into either a mini series or a feature. I've got an idea for another film as well. So I've got these ideas that I've currently been writing, obviously been in lockdown. So the next thing is to try and develop it further and meet with the right people. So I'm trying to expand my network more and just get on with the right filmmakers. 'Cause ideally, even though I've wrote these concepts, I don't want to put myself as that filmmaker, because I know there's people out there that can do a better job in that dedicated field. So I would like to put my ideas across and come on board as maybe a few ideas and as the actor, and let them take it with their experience.
Makes sense. Absolutely. Well, we're going to be following you, and we're also building a network here for you. So here's you've got a wealth of people watching you, and
yeah, I've been watching everybody speak. I've been watching.
Perfect. That's what we love. That's what we love about what we do, and we feel honored that we can connect people like that. So I do believe with what you've just made, definitely the future is bright for you, Julian. Where can we follow you, please?
Instagram, Julian London Official. My website, julianlondon.com. Twitter, Julian, the number 2, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be around.
Perfect. We're going to be following you. As I said, we're going to be following you. Thank you so much to you all. Thank you so much. I think it's the end of the show.
I think it is. I think we've slightly overrun a bit.
Really overrun. It's okay. It was good. It was a good night of evening entertainment.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you so much.
Weekend. We've got some really positive feedback from all the films. We just want to say thank you and thanks for tuning in and supporting all our filmmakers. And make sure that you keep up with us on Creative Alliance Show, on Twitter, Instagram, our website, indiefilmfate.com. We're everywhere, aren't we, Tolu?
Yes, we are. We're busy. We're busy. We're very, very busy. But don't forget to fill out your feedback forms. These guys deserve awards. they worked hard, they gave you their time, they gave you their talent and their stories. Please take the time to fill out the feedback form, and that is your chance to also be rewarded with your own prize, thanks to Mixing Networks and We Audition. Thank you so much to our sponsors. It really made a difference to this, and you know what, you guys made a difference to this. Thank you for supporting us. I will ask you again to just click the donate button. It's just a little button on our website. It's indiefilmfate.com. Whatever, even if it's £1, but just think about it. We paid £10 to go to the cinema. We gave you a jam-packed day, and we gave you access to these talented people, right? So we gave you a lot for £1. I'm just saying. So if you've got £1, we would appreciate it, and we're going to put that to our next production, and we hope that we can share that with you, and we'll share where that £1 went. It doesn't have to be £1, by the way. We take anything. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you to Kai. We're sending love to Kai.
Yeah, lots of love to our third
We love
line.
you.
Yeah, can I just shout out to you both and to Kai and say, like, I watched the whole weekend and the selection of films was amazing, and you are like powerhouses. You're so amazing. Like, you do so many plates and you're just great. So thank you so much for organising these events and for being so great and lovely. So, thank you.
I love
No, so much love.
That means the world to us. Thank you so much, Caroline. You are all amazing people.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I missed it. I'm delayed. I'll shut up.
Special opportunity. I appreciate it.
Jess,
Pleasure.
thank you. Thank you. Jess, we'll say goodbye. You can lead it out and close it off.
I'll say goodbye and good night, and hope you've had a great weekend. Have a good week, and we'll see you next time.